Hello and welcome to the Talk Villa YouTube channel. I'm your host Sumeet Paul, and Aston Villa fell to a 2-1 defeat to Bayern Munich in Hong Kong on Friday. But aside from his superb goal, Joao Gomes stood out with his performance as he continues to impress in pre-season. So in this episode, I'm going to take a closer look at why the Brazilian midfielder looks to be such a great signing already, in particular due to the way he fits our system and how Unai Emery wants us to play. So just 6 days split Youri Tielemans leaving Villa and Joao Gomes signing from Wolves. Losing Tielemans will no doubt be a significant blow, such was his influence in our midfield and success over the past 2 years in particular. But the arrival of Gomes has seemingly softened that concern and offered renewed confidence in our midfield options heading into the new season. Such has been the impact of Gomes so far in pre-season, it really does look as though Emery has brought in a top-class solution, one who fits our system and style of play, has the talent and untapped potential to continue to develop and improve under the guidance of the Villa boss, and who so far at least looks like a steal for the reported initial £35 million fee. Now naturally, some will argue that pre-season is pre-season and judgment should wait until we've seen him in competitive action on a consistent basis, which is fair. But that said, the ease with which he has settled in and adapted to us and Emery's demands has been so impressive, and it gives genuine reason to believe that we've secured a fantastic signing and a player who can potentially be a pillar of this team moving forward. So I wanted to have a closer look at Joao Gomes after his display against Bayern. It's worth noting that he has impressed and shown these traits right through pre-season, and that is why he has received high praise so far. So if we look at the first image on screen now, this is a perfect example of his ability to escape pressure deeper in our own half, turning away from the press and getting us moving up the pitch at pace. He does this consistently and really well, and although admittedly he did get caught out a few times early in this game trying to do this, he improved as it went on and was key in helping us counter and create threatening situations. I'm no doubt about it that he'll continue to improve in this aspect with work on the training ground and as he continues to settle in the team. But he is able to take multiple opposing midfielders out of the game by breaking that initial press, and he then has the impressive ball carrying qualities to take us from deeper areas of our own half into the opposition half quickly. So that is one thing that Gomes does really effectively. And again, the second image on screen now reinforces that point, as he is also able to delay his pass, attract more pressure and get more players to come towards him, and then he releases the ball quickly, and in this case it's Lamar Bogard who has space in front of him to then attack and time to play the next pass in our move to shift the ball forward quickly. And again, in the third image on screen now, Gomes can receive the ball either with his back to the opposition goal or on the half turn, and he's able to quickly pivot and get away from pressure, this time forcing the Bayern player to lose his footing, and Gomes is then off to the races, carrying the ball right the way through to the halfway line before passing it on to one of our attacking players. Now, the one key area that we wanted to see from Gomes this summer, particularly given what Tielemans was able to give us in that midfield role, was his passing range and his ability. We've also seen him play intricate passes through the lines as Tielemans used to do so effectively, and we'll hopefully see this continue to improve and develop as he gets used to the movement of his teammates and how he operates in trying to cut through teams. You can't quite see it on this image on screen now, but the ball does reach one of our attacking players in space, who is then able to run at the Bayern defence, with Gomez's pass essentially bypassing the midfield and the press from the Bayern midfielders. And it's not just these passes that we've seen from Gomes. He's shown good range with the ability to go longer and more direct when needed. He was crucial in the build-up to his own goal against Bayern, where he played a longer ball out to the right-hand side and then broke forward off the ball to get into a position to apply the finish. And I think this is an area of his game that can be unlocked and developed by Emery and the coaching staff. Losing Tielemans, his ability to dictate and control tempo in midfield is going to be one of the biggest blows that we had this summer. But if Gomes can sort of develop and take on that role and responsibility, then we've obviously found a great solution in him alone. Oh, and by the way, good luck to any opponent trying to win a 50-50 with him and attempting to fend off his intense and relentless pressure. I do think he will need to be balanced with that though, not to give away too many fouls and pick up excessive number of bookings, because he does love a tackle, he loves to fly in. Generally speaking, his timing is excellent and his reading of the game is brilliant, but you can see that part of his game where he may start to pick up yellow cards for the tackles that he puts in. But what he does do really well is brings athleticism and energy to our midfield, which is very much needed. Now, one of the more fascinating parts of this new setup is going to be his partnership with Boubacar Kamara. We've got our first look at that partnership in this game, and I know it's still early days as they have to continue to build an understanding and a chemistry on the pitch to become familiar with their movement and where they want possession and where they don't. But although this image on screen doesn't really do it great justice, there was good link-up play between the pair at times, and they were able to find each other in space to keep our moves flowing. If they can both stay healthy, and ideally for the entire season, they can be the foundation for any success that we enjoy this year and beyond. I think they give us the combination of their defensive steeliness and composure and technical quality in possession, and Emery will no doubt relish working with both of them to fulfill the potential of that partnership. Again, in this next image, similar to the pass earlier which was made in his own half, Joao Gomes has the vision and ability to execute passes that cut through the opposition. In this case, he finds Evan Gassond in space in the box, and although unfortunately nothing comes of it in the end, it's a threatening move and Gomes is at the heart of creating that opening for one of our attackers. I do think that's one of the things that I was kind of waiting to see. I heard all about the fact that he was a very good ball carrier, he was tenacious off the ball, a ball-winning midfielder, and was someone that you can rely on to really put hard yards in and do the dirty work. The question mark for me came whether or not he had the vision and passing range to be effective and influential in that part of our game, and there are really, really promising and encouraging signs of that in pre-season so far. And then finally, again, in a more advanced area of the pitch, Gomes draws in more attention on the wing this time, and Bogard benefits once again as he breaks from midfield into the box. And again, although it doesn't lead to much on this occasion, it's another example of how Gomes creates space for his teammates and has the passing range and ability to find them in dangerous areas. He covers a lot of ground, he pops up in a lot of different areas of the pitch, and if he can continue to attract attention and pressure, free up space for others, I think he's going to be really effective in our attacking play. Now, as I said, there are times when he gets caught in possession, so he'll have to be mindful of that, but he scored a brilliant goal in this game, and his poise, positioning, awareness, tenacity, the positive intent and the technical skills have all stood out over the summer, along with his ball carrying, and there is real hope that we've made a brilliant signing in difficult circumstances and a tough market to bring in players at affordable prices. We've seen some of the fees that have been paid for midfielders this summer already. I'm thinking in particular Elliot Anderson in excess of £100 million going to Manchester City. And yet maybe Joao Gomes isn't going to be at that level where you would see him emerging as a world-class talent. But for £35 million or whatever the initial fee is, you can see that we've made a brilliant signing in my opinion. And hopefully he just goes from strength to strength. He's still got a lot of development, a lot of time on his side to find his peak form, his peak years of his career. And so I just think it's really, really savvy signing from Villa, and hopefully it proves to be a stroke of genius moving forward. So what have you made of Joao Gomes since he arrived from Wolves last month? Are you impressed with how he's played through pre-season? Let me know your thoughts. If you're listening on YouTube, you can leave your answers below. The pod is also available via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other means wherever else you get your podcast from. And you can also head over to talkvilla.substack.com and get involved in the conversation over there. So that's a wrap on this episode. A big thank you, as always, for taking the time to have a listen. Please do subscribe to the pod or channel, depending on where you're listening. So that's either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcast from. Please give this episode a like or leave a positive review on the pod if you've enjoyed it. There will be plenty more content over the summer with more transfer speculation to come and our final bits of preparation for the new campaign coming up in the next week. Sign up to the Talk Villa Plus newsletter on Substack for ad-free Villa news, opinions and analysis, all of which is delivered directly to your email inbox. And there is also an option of a paid subscription for bonus content. All the details will be in the description of this podcast, but for more, please go to talkvilla.substack.com and subscribe. So it's Paris Saint-Germain for the UEFA Super Cup next up in Salzburg on Wednesday night. Hopefully we'll have a stronger squad available to Emery by then, but I'm certainly looking forward to seeing Joao Gomes go up against their midfield and see how he fares. As I say though, I know Martinez, Watkins, Konza, they haven't had a pre-season with us after their extended break following the World Cup, so it will be interesting to see if they A, make the squad at all, but B, whether or not they're able to come straight into the team or they have to be gradually guided in over the course of this game, our final pre-season game, and then heading into our Premier League opener against Brighton. But for now, all eyes and focus are on PSG. Let's hope we can lift another piece of European silverware to start the season in style and give ourselves another real confidence boost, take that into the start of the Premier League season, and hopefully enjoy more success this year. I'll be back after the PSG game to run through my talking points from that one, but until then, up the Villa.